He plays defensive tackle. He is also a college graduate and has started his master's. So really proud of these guys and can't wait to August and report and get going. So with that, I'll open up to any questions.
Okay, Coach, we're going to go left side about 3/4 of the way back. So you're raising your hand right there. Again, give us the name and your affiliation, please.
Hey, Coach. Ross Lovelace, allsooners.com. I was just asking if you could talk about your offensive coordinator and kind of where that offensive identity will lie this year. I know he brings a lot of passing experience in the air raid, and just kind of talk about what that new identity will look like this year.
Well, it's interesting. Whenever I talk to him, the one thing about Kitley is, he'll say, we have air raid concepts, but we're not a true air raid. Where I fell in love with him, we've been talking a lot over the last couple years, but in the interview, he said, Coach, I'm going to find our best 11 players. I'm going to get them on the field, and we're going to score a lot of points. He said, whenever I was at Western Kentucky, it's our best 11. We had 4 really good receivers. At Texas Tech, we have 3 really good tight ends. And so it's going to look a little bit different. One thing about me, I'm a defensive coach, so we're going to play complementary football. But at the end of the day, you got to score 1 more point than your opponent to win the game, and he's going to figure out how to do that. Really excited, man. One of the brightest young coaches in the country.
Go right in front here, Coach. Second row, right in front of us, left side.
Brandon Jerome, 247 Sports, OUinsider.com. Can you talk about, you obviously came up through the high school ranks in the state of Texas, what that meant for you, your time at Baylor, and then obviously now being the head coach at Texas Tech, what your time as a high school head football coach in Texas has allowed you to do as far as recruiting and all that type of stuff?
Well, the one thing I always say, and I believe this, it's not just a little slogan, but I'm a high school coach that gets to coach college football. My DNA is a high school coach. And for the guys that have never coached high school football, line up against Lee Wigington or Eddie Peach whenever he was alive and see what kind of coaches those guys are. And what's allowed me to do is, I was part of the Texas High School Coaches Association's Board of Directors. Was able to make great contacts, and I think the Texas high school coaches understand what we say we're going to do, that they can trust us to take care of their players. And whenever you can walk into a high school or walk into a house and the head coach knows, hey, this guy's what he's all about, what he says, what he's going to do, it makes a huge impact on those guys. And I think it showed in the recruiting class that we signed and in the group that we're recruiting right now.
All right, we're going to go over here. And after he gets done answering the question, the 4th row, raise your hand again, right there. And then after that, right there. There, see, I'm going to get everybody in, I promise. I'm American Airlines. Where are we going? Right there.
Gabriel Chirino with the Ocala. Does bringing in Zach Kitley kind of counter these improving defenses that we've seen in the Big 12 in recent years?
Well, I think, man, that is a great question because the Big 12 is not the Big 12 of 5 years ago. You look at what Iowa State has done running the football in 12 and 13 personnel, what Baylor did last year in 11 and 12 personnel. And so I think it's different. I think it gives us a unique look. It gives us a true identity on offense. And it's going to strain some people. I think Coach Kitley and our offensive staff have a great identity. I think they have a great look of what this is what we're going to look like. And so, you got to score points to win football games, and that's what we're going to try to do in West Texas.
All right, we're going to go right down the middle, Coach, about 3/4 of the way back.
Hey, Coach. Austin Flanagan at ESPN Chicago. Since you've been announced head coach, your recruiting has gone up, and you just announced the current expansion to your current facilities. How pivotal has the fan base, administration, boosters, all that, been to your off-season success?
I mean, have you ever been to a basketball game in West Texas? Of course, I was after football, so we go 18-0 in basketball, and we're bringing in junior days, and it's Mississippi State, and we're playing in front of 15,000 people. And so it's really easy to see and show recruits this is who we are and this is our fan base. You know, my daughter's a Red Raider, and I thought I knew what the alumni and the fans, you know, I felt their passion. I thought I did until I became the head coach, and I've never seen anything like it. The love for that university is absolutely incredible, and we're using it like crazy whenever it comes to recruiting. And then whenever you talk about a brand new facility, I think it's going to be the best in the country. It's going to be very unique. It's going to tie 4 fields together that you could just walk across the Sky Bridge and be, you know, in the indoor or be on the game field. So it's a really big deal for us, and I think it's a game changer.
All right, Coach, we're going to go down here. Ariel, right here to the right.
Hi, Coach. Ariel Schaefer, KLBK KMAC, back in Lubbock. First college head coaching job for you. You know, just has it really sunken in for you just going down to the Jones that first game? Do you get goosebumps just thinking about you're living out your dream?
Yeah, I really am. You know, a moment was our little kids camp, and we had Fearless Champion out there. We had the Mask Rider. We had the cheerleaders, and we ended little kids camp, our young camp, with them running down the tunnel and out on the field. And, you know, I'm standing at the 50-yard line at the logo. I'm not running out. But just seeing those young kids and the smiles on their faces, that probably is kind of the closest moment that up until now and to game one, I cannot wait. I can't wait to come out in front of those fans. I'm glad that we're opening it home. It's going to be, I'll tell you, really cool. We need to do this research. So whenever we come out on September 3rd, we have a new Mask Rider that we have every year, but we have a brand new horse, and then we got a brand new head coach. So 3 are going to come out together for the very first time in Texas Tech history, and that's going to be really cool.
All right, Coach, we're going to go left side. And after he asks the question, take the mic back about 4 rows right there. Okay, good.
Chuck Carlton, Dallas Morning News. You mentioned that the new facility was going to be a game changer, but could you just elaborate on what that does for you from the standpoint of recruiting, setting a tone, all those sorts of things as a first-year coach?
Well, you know, I think the biggest thing is it shows that we are committed to excellence. We're committed. We have a brand new basketball practice facility, the Womble, that's state-of-the-art. We have a great addition and has continued to add to our baseball facility with Coach Tadlock. And now that South End Zone project, along with our new football facility, shows that we're serious about our athletics at the university and that we're serious about being the best of the best. And so that's the plan. Excited. Every one of our recruits, whenever we've been able to show them the different renderings, have just been fired up and, you know, can't wait to be a part of it.
All right. Brian, I'll get to you, I promise, buddy. I haven't forgotten you, okay? Right there, right in the middle, Coach.
Melissa Treebwasser, Frogs Today. Coach, you mentioned that this isn't the same Big 12 as we had 5 years ago, and it won't be the same Big 12 5 years from now. As a first-time head coach, how do you feel that Texas Tech is positioned for the future of college football?
Yeah, I think, you know, I said in my opening statement, I think I work for the best AD in the country. And I think the way he approaches things puts us in a really good position. And so we're excited. You know, whatever happens, you know, I listened to everybody's press conference yesterday, and of course, I heard our new commissioner that we're open for business. I do think that the Big 12 will look different. I think we have a great opportunity to just make our conference even stronger. And I think we're going to put ourselves with the facilities, with the amount of different degrees and the different things you can study at Texas Tech. We're going to put ourselves in a really good position to be a part of something special in the Big 12.
All right, Coach, right down the middle.
Hey, Joey, Curtis Quillen, KCEN TV in Waco. You spent several years there at Baylor. What went into that decision, and what were those conversations like with Dave Aranda as you left Baylor to go take this job at Texas Tech?
Well, first of all, I can't thank that fan base and that university enough. You know, my son graduated from there, and I mean, what better head coaches to work for than Matt Rule and Dave Aranda? and what they did for my family was just absolutely incredible. You know, from the beginning, whenever I told Coach that I had an opportunity to interview at Texas Tech, I mean, we're right in the middle of the Big 12 race, and we're in a really good position, you know, to play for the Big 12 championship, and they did. And he had nothing but good things to encourage me with, and, you know, from the get-go had my back and said, Coach, man, you have to take this opportunity that it presents. And, you know, it was tough that week leaving because I was so close to those players. I love those guys, you know, but this opportunity at Texas Tech, there was no way I could pass it up.
All right, we're going to go down here to the right real quickly, Coach, all the way to the right.
Hey, Coach. Mason Horniski with KMAC KLBK. You just talked a little bit about Baylor. Dave Aranda said that he still has a lot of love for you. His former players said that he has a lot of love for you, too. They all described you as a high-energy guy. Where does that energy come from? What gets you up in the morning?
The players. You know, I really believe that coaching's a calling, and you have an opportunity to change lives. And so every single day, whenever my feet hit the floor, I make a choice, no matter if, you know, sometimes my wife's upset with me that I didn't pick something up or I didn't do something at home, of course, but no matter what happens throughout the day, when my feet hit the floor in the morning, I make a choice to be fired up and excited because I get a chance to make our players the best version of themselves, and that's what we truly believe in. We are a player-centered program. It's all about them. I do think the new facilities take a big part in that also, but that's what fires me up. You know, I'm a lot like my mama. That's how she was, and learn from her, and it's a choice. We got a choice to get up every morning and be happy and excited and make a difference in people's lives.
All right, Coach, left side here with the, there you go. Stand up.
Hey, Coach. Brian Davis, the Austin American Statesman. You know, I'm curious, as you travel around and you meet with other Red Raiders, you're right, you saw it in basketball, the excitement that there is, but this is a school that badly wants to be good in football, right? So can you put a point on that feeling that you get from Tech people of how bad they want you to succeed and lift the program to another level?
That's a really good question. You know, what's really cool is, like, everywhere I go, there's a Red Raider. I mean, the players and I were talking about that last night at dinner, that, you know, wherever we're at, there's somebody that's connected. Every high school we go into, it necessarily doesn't have to be a coach. It could be an administrator. It could be a teacher. And the love that they have for that university. I know we're in the Big 12, but we're in the state of Texas. And football is extremely important in the state of Texas at all levels. And so I think we've had a taste of it at different times. I'm really excited about what we can do with this team. But it's really important to this fan base to get this team right and to win games. And, man, I'm just glad to be a part of it. I will say our fan base, and probably my wife, wants to win more than anybody. And so, you know, no pressure at home or anything like that, but, you know, hear it all the time.
All right, Coach, we'll go to the right side here, right there. Stand up, please.
Hey, Joey, it's Sam Hutchins with the O'Colly. Yesterday, Mike Gundy mentioned that there may be a shift in recruiting, with recruits not necessarily caring what conference they go to so much. I wanted to ask you, having so much high school experience, how much does the patch on your jersey, the conference, matter in recruiting nowadays?
That is a great question, because you can't say it doesn't matter. You know, you can't say that, but at the end of the day, I think what the product you're putting on the field, the opportunity that they have, especially with their parents, of what they're going to study at that university, I think the facilities that they're going to play in and the stadium they're going to play in, I think the fan base plays a big part of that. But I do think you are going to have a shift of different things when it comes to either recruiting high school players, guys that are coming, have entered the portal. The different things like that are going to make a big difference in the conference. But at the end of the day, we have an opportunity to strengthen this conference, and I think that we definitely will.
All right, Coach, we have time for maybe 2, possibly 3 more questions right in front here, right side.
Shahan J. Raja, CBS Sports. Coach, you know, this was your first time putting together a collegiate staff, and you pulled from a lot of different places. What was kind of your philosophy going into putting together a staff, and what were you looking for?
Well, it had to start, really, it didn't start, this is going to sound crazy, it didn't start with X's and O's. I told our staff, and I tell them every day, if you can't come in here and put the players first, you're in the wrong place. And so it started with guys that truly believed in that philosophy. And then it went from the scheme and different people that I knew. It was really big to hire Tim DeRuiter. He's been a head coach. There's so many times in college, there's so many times that I go into his office and say, hey, take your defense coordinator hat off, put your head coaching hat on, make sure I'm going in the right direction. That was huge. It was huge to get good connections. I asked earlier about Texas high school coaches to put those guys together. And, I wanted to make sure that we brought a bunch of guys in the building that could get along, that cared about each other. Of course, it's my job to build that chemistry on the coaching staff, but we have some really, really good coaches, and I'm really excited about our staff. I think we have as good a staff as anybody in the country.
Final two questions, Coach. Right-hand side here, 3 rows back.
Cole Thompson, FanNation.com. Joey, when you look as a brand new head coach, one of the major things is that you have to find your right quarterback. And to have Donovan and Tyler both work in Lubbock and also work in a system like Zach's, how important is it for you to have those guys building off of last season? And more specifically, what does it mean to have them already in the building to where you can build with the offense? Thank you.
That's a great question. I don't want to leave out Baron Morton. I mean, we have a 3-horse race in this quarterback competition. And, I wasn't worried about somebody leaving and naming a quarterback or anything like that. I wanted them to truly win it. And they all had great springs, but nobody separated themselves. I told Coach Kitley he will never in his career have a room like he has. That we have 3 guys that can go win football games. We have 3 guys that all can extend plays with their feet. We have 3 guys that have exceptional arm talent. And so it's not like he has to call a different offense because he has somebody that's a pro-style guy back there. They're competing extremely hard. I've told everybody in Lubbock and our fan base, we're not going to rotate quarterbacks, but you're going to see packages with possibly all 3 of them. I mean, I'll just give you an example. If Donovan Smith doesn't win the job, I would be crazy not to have a 6'5", 240-pound quarterback not running quarterback power on the goal line. And so that's one of the things that we're really trying to do. What do these guys do well, and how they can help us win football games?
Final question, Coach. Mac, right here, right-hand side, Coach.
Mac Engel, Fort Worth Star-Telegram. Coach, you're not that far removed from being a high school coach. This is sort of a 2-part question. How has your attitude towards high school football rankings, college football ranking, recruiting rankings changed from 2003, whatever, when you were at Cedar Hill, to today? And how accurate do you feel are they?
Well, that is an incredible question, because the one thing about us is we're totally different. I mean, if somebody has a ranking with the most athletic class and the fastest class in the nation, that's the one we want to be in, and from the standpoint of different rankings, the way I look at it is, are they a Texas Tech football player? Do they fit in what we want to do? And we truly believe that we're a developmental program, and we don't shy away from that, and we don't think that's a bad word. We want to take high school kids that have athletic traits that we can develop. And so I look at it, it's great for our fans, but I also tell our fans too, we're ahead of a lot of people whenever it comes to guys that haven't been ranked yet. So just wait, because they will be at some point. And we don't stray away from our model, our blueprint. I learned that from Matt Rule. I think you saw that in 19 and 2021. I definitely think you saw that in the NFL draft this year and the NFL combine, that when you recruit that way, then you can develop some really, really good football players.
Coach, thank you for your time. We appreciate it. We'll be back with Iowa State in just a few minutes. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you all very much.